Select Holland America sailings with Expedia Cruises and access exclusive offers that include up to $500 onboard cash credit and more. Contact us for details.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Expedia Cruises Holland America Explorer event. We are so incredibly excited to host this event today in support of our extremely limited time Holland America Explorer sale. It runs September 30th to October 7th. And during this event today, you are going to learn all about why Holland America should be your choice brand to experience the world and the exclusive value that you can get by booking Holland America with Expedia Cruises during this sale. But be sure to stick around because at the very end, we will be giving away a $250 onboard cash credit to be added to your booking. But before we get into all that, let's go over a little bit of housekeeping. Now, if you have any technical difficulties for any reason, I usually find that logging out and in does the trick. If you'd like to see more of the slides and less of us, or vice versa, you can adjust your view at the very top of the screen. But do note that if you are joining in from a tablet or a cell phone, you may not have that option. Now, we do have a team of experts from Holland America and Expedia Cruises with us here today. So if you do have any questions at all, pop them into the Q&A box. If we don't get to it, we will be sure to have your Expedia Cruises vacation consultant get back to you. And lastly, we are also recording this event. And so if you'd like to share it with a friend who couldn't make it, know that you will receive the link within 24 hours. Now, on behalf of all of us at Expedia Cruises, I'd like to thank you for joining us today. If you are one of our loyal Seven Seas Club members, we really appreciate your continued support. If you're new to Expedia Cruises, we offer you our warmest welcome. And I just wanted to spend a minute telling you a little bit about who we are. Now, at Expedia Cruises, we are a full service travel agency. We have expert vacation consultants that can help you book your dream vacation by air, land, or sea, however you want to book, whether that's online, or you can give us a call, or you can set up an appointment to come visit any one of our over 200 stores throughout North America. And the big thing, if you go to the next slide, we're really more than just a part of a trusted big global brand name. If you see on these pictures here, this is us. We're your neighbors in your local community. We're passionate travelers ourselves, and we want to help you and your families see the world. And so what that means is that if you want to get to Barcelona, your local Expedia Cruises will know the best way to get there from your hometown. And if you look at the next slide, this is our promise to you. We'll always provide you with the best choice, the best offers, including special Expedia extras and advice that you can trust. A core tenet is that we will always be there for you, whether it's before, during, or after your trip. So without further ado, let's get to why you're all here today, to learn more about Holland America. And to kick us off, we have a very, very special guest here with us today, Michelle Sutter, VP of North America Sales and Chief of Staff of Holland America. Hello, Michelle.
Hi, Aileen. Thank you for having me. Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you so much for being here with us today, Michelle. I know your team has a fantastic presentation to follow, but wanted to kick us off just to take a little bit of time to get to know your thoughts on what's new and exciting to Holland America, and also why in particular this sale is particularly exciting. Now, when we look across Holland America and Expedia Cruises, we've been working together for over 35 years. And over this time, we've seen a lot of change across the industry and also across both our companies. I'd love to hear from you. What has remained the same at Holland America? And also on the flip side, what do you see that's new and exciting?
Thank you, Aileen. And yes, we have a long-standing partnership. And I personally have worked with Expedia Cruises for 22 years. So this is a partnership that is so important to us. And what has remained the same includes our commitment to deliver outstanding service. And that has always been at the forefront of our commitment to our partners like Expedia Cruises and our guests who sail with us on board. Our crew and service levels are so important. And in fact, since we've returned to service in the past year, our NPS scores, so those are the scores that measure how our guests rate their experience on board have been higher than ever before. So the service is really resonating with our guests who sail. Our expansive, immersive itineraries, that remains the same. We're highly committed to taking you around the world and taking you to all of the places so that you can explore all of your bucket list destinations. And of course, I would be remiss if I didn't mention our leading position and expertise in Alaska. That remains the same. This year, we're celebrating 75 years in Alaska. We've been there longer than Alaska's been a state, and longer than any other cruise line. So those are the things that have remained the same. What's
That's
new and
amazing.
exciting? Sorry, were you going to say something?
Oh, I was just going to 75 years. I mean, I think that really is a testament to your brand and also Holland America's expertise. So that's so great to hear.
We're very proud of it. And as you can see with my background, we still get chills talking about it. But what's new and exciting is our highly differentiated entertainment program on board. And that's with our live music. So we have venues on board that for live music, they're called the BB King's Blues Club, the Rolling Stone Rock Room, Billboard on Board, and Lincoln Center Stage. And really what it is, it's like a live concert every night, and standing room only, or shall I say dancing room only. And that's really the heartbeat of the ship. And so that's new. And of course, our new ships, the Pinnacle class ships, which include the Rotterdam, the Koningsdam, and Nieuw Statendam, our new class of ship. They're beautiful and beautiful ships for you to explore. So those are some of the new and exciting things that we have. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention the fact that next year, Holland America Line we'll be celebrating our 150-year anniversary. So that's a milestone that we're very proud of as well.
That's really incredible. Thanks for sharing, Michelle. And I know, I mean, even in your career, you've traveled around the world. You've been to so many memorable places. If you could choose just one Holland America port of call or itinerary that you would highly recommend to those joining us here today, what would it be and why?
That's a tough question. I used to work on ships, so I've seen a lot of ports of call. But I think I will answer that question by saying the one destination that I think needs to be on everyone's bucket list and travel list is Alaska. It is such a glorious destination, and the best way to see Alaska is on a ship. And of course, since we've been there for 75 years, we are the logical cruise line to sail with to Alaska. But Alaska, every itinerary is different from the context of the experience that you have on board, right? What wildlife you see and the nature and all of the experiences are so unique. You can literally go to Alaska 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, and have a different experience every time in terms of what you see and experience. So if you haven't already been to Alaska, that's what I would recommend.
I love that. And actually, I was just in Alaska myself in August for family vacations with my parents and my kids, and they were just in awe of, you know, we saw eagles and whales. And on the last night back, there was a pod of 45 dolphins jumping and like swimming alongside it. It was so, so incredible. Michelle, if you were to give only just one insider tip or traveler tip for our attendees today, what would this be? I mean, maybe it could be a unique shore excursion that Holland America offers, or maybe it's the best place to watch the sunset on your ships, or I don't know, like whatever it might be. We'd love your insider tip.
Okay, I might give 2 because you just said something that inspired 2 ideas for me. So last month I was also in Alaska. I was there hosting a group, and one of the really special experiences we had was being on the bow of the ship in Glacier Bay. I've been to Alaska on a number of different ships and cruise lines, and never have I been so close to the wonders of Glacier Bay. So what I would say to you is, when you sail with us to Alaska, is go out on the bow of the ship, because that's very unique. You can't do that with any other cruise line, and you can get really up close and personal. But when you said sunsets, that made me think of something. Is when you go to the back of the ship on any of the ships of our ships, the view to sunsets from the back of the ship with the ocean behind you with the ship is just such a beautiful view. That's what I would say. So those are the 2 things that I would say you have to make sure you do when you're on board.
I love that. So write that down, everyone. I think that's a really great tip. Now, we have a really big sale coming up with Holland
Yes.
America in just 3 days, starting on September 30th. How excited are you about this sale?
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. We've been planning this for over a year, and we've been trying to get this sale for multiple years. So this finally coming to fruition is so exciting for us. It starts, as you mentioned, on September 30th and goes through October 7th. And this is the biggest sale we've ever had. And it makes sense for us to partner with Expedia Cruises on our biggest Holland America Line Explorer sales. So that's going to include shipboard credits up to $1,000, crew appreciation, which are the gratuities, a reduced deposit, and our signature beverage package, and up to a $300 shore excursion credit. So you can explore the wonders of Alaska and anywhere else you choose to sail to. A Wi-Fi surf package, so you can stay connected if you need to. And of course, specialty dining. So this is honestly the richest offer we've ever put to market. And we're so excited to share that with the Expedia Cruises guests and clients.
Thank you so much for your partnership and bringing that all to life. I mean, trust me, guys, you won't want to miss this. So stay tuned to learn a little bit more. But Michelle, thank you so much for your time. You've got us super excited to learn more about Holland America. And I know you have two special guests from the team to further help immerse us in the world of Holland America. Do you want to help introduce them?
Of course. I want to introduce Tom Steer and Lori Patterson, our business development managers in Canada. And they are the experts of Holland America Line. Tom used to work on board our ships, and Lori has been out in the field for decades sharing the Holland America Line story. I know you wouldn't know it by looking at her, but sharing the Holland America Line story with our Canadian travelers and travel agency partners. So I leave you in great hands. Thank you, Aileen. And I'll leave it to you now, Tom and Lori.
Perfect. Tom and Lori, over to you. And thanks again, Michelle.
Oh, that's fantastic, Michelle. Thank you so much. And Aileen, we are so thrilled. Thank you for kicking off this exciting presentation. And we are very, very grateful to be here today and to get everyone ready for some vacation inspiration with Holland America Line and our partners at Expedia Cruises. And, you know, they say that half the fun of a vacation is in the planning and the anticipation, and I cannot disagree with that. So we want to make sure that you are prepared for the best cruise experience with as much information as possible today. So I'm going to give you a bit of a teaser today, and even Michelle let the cat out of the bag with some valuable offers coming your way when you are booking with Expedia Cruises during this exciting World Explorer event. So to help facilitate your planning in our partnership, we are offering you this literally once in a lifetime value. And as Michelle said, I've been around for a few years now, and I don't think I've ever seen a value quite as rich as this one. So you are coming in at a very, very good time. And when you are booking select voyages with Holland America Line and Expedia Cruises during the week of September 30th to October 7th, you are eligible to qualify for the best deal ever with up to $1,000 onboard spending money. And for those of you that have cruised before, you know, gosh, that money can really, really come in handy. So this will cover you for your onboard spending, the crew appreciation, which is our terminology for gratuities, the signature beverage package, our specialty dining, and our amazing alternate restaurants, Wi-Fi surf package, as well as a shore excursion credit to really enhance your whole experience. So you can really choose one of our very carefully crafted journeys that Tom is going to talk about, or you can actually choose maybe your favorite ship from one of our very classically designed fleet of 11 premium ships that you can see here. And maybe some of you that are tuning in today have had the opportunity to sail or recognize one of your ships from the photos here. And as of July 2021, we began our return to service after a long pause in our operations. And we could not be more proud of our onboard teams and our travel partners for making us really able to return and greet guests on board and return to service. And some really fun, noteworthy facts as we look back on this past 14 months. 12,000 Team members welcome back on board from 98 countries around the world, 242 bon voyages, 169 ports of call, and 1.7 million bottles of wine poured. But one stat that we're very, very proud of is our fundraising of over $210,000 for cancer research and Ukrainian war relief. And of course, all of this is wrapped around our commitment to keep our guests and crew as safe as possible. We have had our Travel Well program that has really been our guide with protocols and updates for everyone to stay informed and safe as we sail. We have just introduced, actually just this week, as a matter of fact, a platform on our website that is customized with each voyage for our guests to view the information on staying safe and what to expect as they sail in this ever-changing world. So at this time, I'm going to turn the presentation over to my colleague, Tom, to get you inspired, excited, and give you the why sailing with Holland America Line, an experience like no other. Tom?
Thank you, Laurie. Thank you very much. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for joining. Now, I know today we are joined by a lot of folks who are tuning in, and many of which are mariners, Holland America cruisers who are very passionate about Holland America, just like ourselves. And you cruise on a regular basis with Holland America. We're also joined by some folks who perhaps have cruised once or twice with Holland, maybe not for some time. And there's a lot of folks tuning in who have yet to step foot on a Holland America ship, which is fantastic. So thank you all for joining. I'm going to go ahead and give you a bit of a flavor of what Holland America Line is all about. So first off, an easy kind of way to give you an overview is to touch on some themes that Michelle has already alluded to. We are the cruise line for explorers, foodies, and music lovers. We'll come back to this in a few minutes. And our ships are perfectly sized and have a global footprint. We touch all 7 continents. Now, if you came to the webinar today looking for roller coasters and go-karts, I'm sorry, that is the wrong webinar. There is a market for those things. Those are fantastic options for cruisers, but there's a growing market and growing interest of folks who have kind of been there, done that, now looking for more touches of luxury, whether it's freshly cut flowers, an enhanced guest to staff ratio, more space, more variety with itineraries. So lots of folks are finding Holland America. Also on the other side of the cruise world, folks who have only ever cruised on very small ships, they are now coming to us because they would like more space and variety on board. So many people find Holland America. It's the cruise line for so many cruisers out there. And the Holland America experience all starts with the ships. This is something Michelle also touched on. There is something very special about a Holland America Line ship, the way it looks, the nautical lines, the dark blue hulls. It's often said our ships look like ships, but they're perfectly sized. That's what we like to say. You could say mid-sized. To put that in perspective, all of our ships are under 100,000 tons. So what does that mean? In the cruising world today, you hear about those record-breaking mega ships out there. Well, our ships could fit 2.5, 3 times over into that gross tonnage. So we are much smaller than that. So a different type of cruise experience altogether. And things that just jump out from this picture right here, another thing that Michelle mentioned, that open space on deck, that wonderful spacious element, the bow that comes into play in Alaska when you're there viewing the glaciers, that open deck space. So it really starts with the ship itself. And as I say, folks are finding us from all the kind of types of cruising coming over to Holland America. We have anniversary couples, we have family reunions, girls getaways, those multi-generational family groups. We see lots of these in the Caribbean, in Alaska, where you've got the aunts, the uncles, the cousins, the grandparents, the grandkids, everyone having fun. And then whether they're in port or they're on the ship, then coming back and enjoying dinner together, reporting on their day, just all that incredible family fun. And do speak with your Expedia Cruises travel and vacation consultant about our kids club on board, our club house. It is a best kept secret. It is fantastic. So moving on, I mentioned the word explorers earlier. What we mean by this is we have a depth and breadth when it comes to our itineraries that is unmatched. We have an ability to immerse you that is quite uncommon. A lot of this comes down to the 150 years that Michelle mentioned. That is 150 years where we've established relationships and expertise, and those relationships I refer to with maritime authorities and ports around the world. So we have tweaked our itineraries. They have a certain cadence, a certain flow to deliver that kind of immersion. And the depth and breadth really comes into play with the sheer number of itineraries and the number of ports. That's uncommon too. Usually in the cruise world, it's either a lot of ports or a high number of itineraries. You don't typically get both. So usually you're limited to either the same itinerary with many dates or lots of ports, but not many opportunities date-wise to take that sailing with us. It's the best of both worlds. And then, of course, it's our expertise on board when it comes to executing that, which again comes from experience. Now, food is a big part of cruising for everyone. That's one of the wonderful things we all get to enjoy when we cruise. Now, we've been a cruise line for foodies before the term foodie even existed. And I think what Holland America represents is a kind of sweet spot, to use kind of a food analogy. And that is the fact that, again, when you look out there in the cruising world, you see kind of two ends of the spectrum where on the one end, you might have kind of mega ships where you have a dining room where it's a similar menu every day, and then 15, 20 kind of paid options you may or may not get to experience. On the other end, very small ships where it's a one dining room and then maybe one alternate experience. With us, it's the perfect balance. We have that classic Holland America dining room, whether it's open or fixed seating that you prefer, with new creations every day, different menus every day, and then 2, 3, or 4 specialty dining opportunities, exclusive venues that you can enjoy throughout the cruise. So it's that wonderful balance. And some of those, I would love to talk about all of them, read you the menus, read you all those menu items. There are so many incredible opportunities to enjoy fantastic food on board. Rue de Sel de Mer, our seafood brasserie, is one of my favorites. The Tamarind, our Pan-Asian fusion in this wonderful ambience, incredible setting. The Pinnacle Grill is our Pacific Northwest steak and seafood kind of chop house affair. It's a mariner's favorite. And then the Canaletto is our, based on the Italian spartiere sharing concept. That's our Italian restaurant on board. But that just gives you an idea of some of the options you can enjoy. Hopefully you have dinner soon, as I'm sure you're working up an appetite right now. But one thing with this, we don't actually hitch our wagon to one celebrity chef. That's not the Holland America way. Instead, we have a more kind of deep and meaningful relationship with our culinary council members. They are a group of very notable individuals, luminaries, in fact, Michelin star chefs, proprietors, TV chefs, authors, who each kind of input and kind of inject creativity into our menus almost in real time. So no matter where we're sailing, whichever dining menu day of the cruise, there are new items that you see created by these fantastic individuals. And we take these experiences out into the port with our shore excursion, because for many of you, I'm sure you'll agree, and a very important part of travel is connecting with the local people you meet. And one of the most incredible ways to do that and have that cultural connection is through food. It speaks to the soul to be able to break bread with locals, learn about those traditional recipes, the locally sourced ingredients. That is key, and that's so fulfilling. So we do that. We have those short excursions that we offer that allow you to do that, and also those recipes are reflected on board as well. Music, Michelle mentioned this too. So we took a bit of a gamble about, I don't know, about 5 years ago, and we shook things up, turned things on their head, and now the Holland America name is synonymous with the best live music at sea. Michelle mentioned the music walk concept. She mentioned concerts. That is a great way to describe it. I also describe it as being kind of akin to a night out on the town. You've got these fantastic shows, fantastic purpose-built venues for professional musicians who are the best in their craft. We moved away from the old school concept of a lounge hopping musician on a cruise ship. You've got BB King's Blues Club. They are incredible. They get everyone up on the floor, whether they're playing, you know, Chuck Berry, Bruno Mars, everything from Stevie Wonder through to Beyonce and more, whatever gets the crowd on their feet. Then we've got Billboard on board, which is dueling pianos, 2 piano entertainers, but not in one of those sardine tin piano bars. It's a wonderful, expansive lounge, an awesome experience for those sing-alongs and show tunes and whatnot. Lincoln Center, this is our Lincoln Center stage. This is our classical ensemble. And these individuals have all come through Lincoln Center in New York, which, as many of you will know, is one of the most recognized institutions for classically trained musicians in the world. And this is one of my favorite ways to just start the evening after coming back from shore, freshening up, take a seat in Lincoln Center and watch their performances. They just kind of immerse you, and it's almost meditative. It's such an awesome way to start the evening. Rolling Stone Rock Room, I'm going to come back and touch on that later because I do want to move on. But yeah, it's like a night out on the town. These venues are playing in many cases at the same time, so you have options, and that is all while our main stage, world stage entertainment is taking place as well. So many options with entertainment and fantastic live music. I do want to touch on service. There's so much that can be said here, but we are restricted time-wise. So one thing I am going to say is, aside from the notoriety we have and the reputation we have for fantastic service within and outside of the hospitality industry, it all comes down to our crew members, our incredible crew members. And it has been fantastic to see those crew members come back to do what they do best. For them, their life was put on pause the same as the rest of us. The uncertainty that we all experience, now they're back on board doing what they do best. And if you haven't already stepped foot on a Holland America ship yet in the last 6 months or a year, you will no doubt have this same experience when you walk up that gangway and you see those crew members for the first time, those first time again, I should say, with their smiles and that natural warmth. It is a very emotional and deeply moving moment. So it's just fantastic to have our crew back out there, winning hearts and minds and putting smiles on the face of our guests again. So Laurie mentioned the fleet, our fantastic sisters, the DAM fleet, DAM ships. One ship I would like to give a quick shout out to is the Rotterdam. She is our new flagship. She was recently launched. She then became the 7th ship to bear the name Rotterdam. In our history, she is the 85th ship to sail under the Holland America Line flag, the 11th ship in the current fleet, and the 3rd in the amazing Pinnacle class. The Pinnacle class ships, again, these aren't mega ships. We're under that 100,000 tons. They are classic Holland America vessels through and through. Beautiful vessels that are classic with a modern twist. I'm going to give you a teaser with some of the images from the Rotterdam, just to give you an idea of what to expect when you step on board. At the bottom there is our wonderful Grand Dutch Cafe. That is an authentic coffee shop, great for Dutch crepes and pastries and treats. Our wonderful greenhouse spa and salon. There's a shot of the one of the parts of the ends of the Rolling Stone Rock Room. We've got our games room up in the side of the crow's nest, the brand new Half Moon Bar, where every cocktail tells an element of the story of Holland America's 150 years. We've got our awesome 180-degree view amphitheater style showroom, the world stage, and then there's our fitness room. So just a bit of a teaser, the dining room, the crow's nest. There's me jumping for joy when I stepped on board not too long ago. Our Scotch tasting bar, our notes bar, the retreat cabanas, Lincoln Center. So an awesome ship, an absolute beauty. Here's a little sneak peek at some of those accommodations, our suites and staterooms. Do keep in mind that with Holland America, regardless of what type of accommodation you're sailing in, those suites and staterooms average 25% larger than those equivalent accommodations on other premium cruise lines. So you do get that extra space, those touches of luxury. You really are stepping it up a gear with Holland America in that respect. So speak with your Expedia Cruises, cruise and travel consultant, and they will give you a bit more of an idea of the differences between the categories and the different types of suites and staterooms. So let's take a look at some of those itineraries. I would love to talk about all 500, but I'll be here until next Tuesday if I did. So I'm just going to touch on a few. First off, Europe. One of my favorite places in the world to travel. And Michelle mentioned this earlier. I spent a lot of time working on board Holland America ships, especially in Europe. Many seasons, and I got to see this firsthand through the eyes of our guests. And you cannot compare the Holland America Europe experience with other cruise lines. There is something that differentiates us, and that's quite important. It is a certain DNA that we have that is unique to us, and that is the fact that we have that 150 years of history, those roots that are alive and well to this day with Europe. That is our heartland, that is our spiritual home. So that relationship and that connection is alive and well today. But we've been headquartered in North America for the last 40, 50 years. So what that means is we understand the North American mindset. So we have this wonderful kind of duality where we can deliver authentic Europe experiences for the North American cruiser with North American programming. So it just works so well. Another way I like to look at it is cruising with Holland America in Europe is a little bit like, if you've ever been in this experience, I'm sure most of you have, if you've ever had this experience, excuse me, and that is perhaps a family member or a friend move to another city or town or country that you were unfamiliar with, and you go to visit and they show you around like a local. They give you the inside track. That's what it's like cruising with Holland America in Europe. It is our backyard. There's some fantastic ports that we'll be visiting in 2023. It's a special year for us, our 150th anniversary. There's some fantastic ports. I'd love to talk about them all. One that just jumps off the screen every time I see this slide in the top right is Bruges, the port being Zeebrugge for Bruges. I love Bruges. Just when I see it, I imagine myself strolling along those canals with that incredible architecture, the smell of the fresh Belgian chocolate, the moules frites, the Trappist beers, just a feast for the senses. And that's true of so many of these ports. And you'll find them on many of our itineraries. Our itineraries in Europe with our new flagship Rotterdam and her sisters, they're almost like rock star tours. The ships move around Europe, so you have the option to take different itineraries and combine them, which I'll touch on in just a second. This itinerary is one I wanted to flag up first of all because I love it. It's so popular. It's called the Northern Isles itinerary, and it gives you a little bit of the Norwegian fjords, including beautiful Bergen that you can see there, an in-depth exploration of Iceland with an overnight stay in Reykjavik and scenic cruising, the Shetland Isles for those Shetland ponies, the Neolithic remains. But the highlight for me is the fact you're in Scotland, not only for Invergordon, which is the gateway to Inverness, but also Edinburgh. Now, if you take a sailing where Edinburgh falls within the month of August, you get to do something very special. You get to experience our highest rated, most popular shore excursion. That is a night at the Royal Military Tattoo at Edinburgh Castle, in the grounds of Edinburgh Castle, under the fireworks, the lights, all the pomp and ceremony. It is absolutely spine tingling. I highly recommend it, but that is only available if you're on a sailing where the Edinburgh call is within the month of August. So speak with your Expedia Cruises travel consultant about that. We're also in the fjords. Now, if you've sailed Alaska and you love scenic cruising in Alaska, you will love the fjords. This is a very immersive fjord sailing, so relaxing, but also at the same time, very busy as well, because there are so many ports of call. And this one sails all the way to the North Cape as well, up through the Arctic Circle. And you can see from this picture just demonstrates how Holland America ships never look out of place. Wherever we are, whichever setting, Holland America ships look like they've always been there. That's something special that you pick up on after you've been sailing with Holland for some time. The next sailing is something I put in there just yesterday. In fact, I wanted to include this itinerary because it's brand new. Like I say, this coming season is the 150 years. We're doing a lot of new things. We've incorporated some unique itineraries, some special itineraries that many of you, even the most experienced Holland America cruiser, may have not seen before. This itinerary is a fantastic example. On the Zuiderdam, it gives you the fjords all the way up to Spitsbergen, Iceland, Scotland, England. So a fantastic mix. So there are some other sailings I just want to touch on quickly before we move away from Europe, and that is your opportunity to follow in the footsteps of the Vikings. On the left-hand side is a sailing that is a Holland America classic. This sells out every year. It's so incredibly popular. Boston round trip. You cruise round trip from Boston. You do not even need international air. It's round trip from Boston, Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, Greenland, Iceland, Northern Europe, all in one go. A fantastic opportunity. And there's also a separate sailing, which is similar, but making the westbound only from Rotterdam. And there's very few days at sea when you do a transatlantic like this. Both incredibly popular. Keep that one on the right-hand side in mind for just a second, because I'm going to keep it on the screen. I want to show you something very, very special that you can do. You may or may not be aware of this. So you see that one on the right-hand side. The one on the left-hand side is one I just showed you 2 slides ago. These cruises combine. Speak with the Expedia Cruises team and ask them about collector's voyages. You can put 2 cruises together. They'll do it for you. Put them together, and that gives you a price break up to around 5%. So you get a discount. and you enhance your experience. It combines to make one seamless experience. If you're going to fly to Europe and you can add an extra 10 or 12 days, you can double the amount of ports and make it an even more memorable bucket list experience. So do speak with the team about those collector's voyages. Okay, spinning the globe to Alaska, a little bit more close to home. We are Alaska. That is our slogan, but we are Alaska. We have been sailing to Alaska for a long time. As Michelle mentioned, it is in our blood. And there's a good reason why we win so many awards. It's our experience, it's the programming, and I'll touch on some of those. We pick up awards. We don't even have a trophy shelf big enough or a trophy cabinet big enough for all these awards. And that does sound a little bit like I'm bragging, but there's good reason that we're the household name in Alaska. I'm going to run through some of those right now. So the Glacier Bay element, those glacier opportunities, glacier viewing opportunities, and the onboard programming, the ships themselves, the fact we have this incredible cruise tour program where you get to experience Denali itself, the McKinley Explorer, and McKinley Chalet Resort, Denali Square. There are so many options with cruise tours. Speak with the Expedia Cruise team to find out more about those. We also have exclusive access to the Yukon as well. So the Alaska programming continues on board ship. It's not just about the itineraries themselves. A lot of what we do is geared towards education and enrichment and bringing the destination to life on board through our Exploration Central program, our partnership with BBC Earth, our incredible Alaska in Concert performance by BBC Earth. And then we have those experts on board. It continues into the dining room and into the restaurants, and with our culinary team. The dining throughout the cruise is regionally inspired, even with beverages, a partnership with Alaska Brewing as well. One thing that's really, really cool, which is breaking news, we only received this a week or so ago. We are now the only cruise line that is serving sustainable, certified sustainable and traceable wild Alaska seafood. If you're like me and you love your seafood, going to Alaska is just such an incredible part of the globe to visit, to enjoy those culinary delights and that fresh seafood. We are certified, sustainable, and traceable, the only cruise line that offers that. So that is excellent peace of mind for you as well. So one thing you'll hear us talk about is the amount of permits we have for Glacier Bay. This may sound like an odd thing to talk about. We do mention it because we have twice as many as the next cruise line. And what this allows us to do is spend more time at Glacier Bay and visit there more often. So when you're in Glacier Bay, having that up close and personal, that visceral moment, that jaw-dropping moment at the glaciers, which we all have no matter how many times we revisit Alaska, with Holland America, we give you more time. So you cannot compare our full day with multiple glacier viewings and wildlife viewings, a full day experience with a cruise line that only gives you an hour in Glacier Bay or doesn't even visit Glacier Bay, spends the entire time out in the Gulf. You just cannot compare that. And again, like Michelle mentioned, and from that image I showed you earlier, you can see that we have this extra deck space, the bow that you can spend time on, taking in the sights and sounds and having that moment of solitude, watching the glacier carve. Hopefully you can't take your eye off it. It happens in a flash. It's just an incredible experience, and you don't have to peek over any machinery or theme park rides. It's just this wonderful open space. Another aspect of Alaska, close to home, for many of you this coming season, is that the Konings Dam is returning, and that's why this little chap is giving her a round of applause. She is back in Vancouver, and the reason I mention that is because you may remember about 5 minutes ago I showed you some images of our brand new flagship Rotterdam and how exciting that is. Well, she is the sister to Rotterdam, another Pinnacle class ship. So if you're not planning to go to Europe in 2023, you want to stay a little bit closer to home, you can experience one of our Pinnacle class ships out of Vancouver, sailing round trip on that classic inside passage sailing with premium docking in Juneau, the full day Glacier Bay. And again, she is a gorgeous ship. I would say pound for pound, she is the most stunning ship to be sailing round trip out of Vancouver with incredible entertainment. There's the world stage in action, our music lounges. And the one I didn't mention earlier is Rolling Stone. I told you I'd come back to this. Rolling Stone Rock Room is that other music venue that makes up Music Walk, and the way to think of Rolling Stone Rock Room is that classic 60s and 70s rock. The Eagles, The Who, Fleetwood Mac, you get the picture. And that lounge is busy every night. And then you've got BB King's Blues Club up the way, and over the other side, you've got the Billboard on board. There's just so much music and just so much fun to be had in the evenings. So look out for those Alaska sailings. It is a great time to think about booking Alaska early with the great benefits that you've seen a little bit of, and that Laurie will be touching on in just a few minutes. The last part of the world I'm going to leave you with is the Caribbean, because for many of you, just like Laurie and myself, that are in slightly northern climes, we're starting to see the nights draw in. We're starting to feel that nip in the air, and perhaps some of you are already thinking about sandy beaches and turquoise water, and getting that itch to maybe head down soon and soak up some sun, whether you're a snowbird or not. Now, we have a lot of Caribbean itineraries available. We have sailings that are 7 days all the way through to 21 days. A lot of options. We have a significant, substantial portion of our fleet based out of Fort Lauderdale for the winter months. So lots of options. All of those sailings will visit the jewel in the crown as far as the Caribbean and Holland America is concerned, and that is our private island, Half Moon Cay. All of these images are from Half Moon Cay, and Half Moon Cay has won the award for Best Private Island 20 years in a row. And that is no coincidence. For a start, if you took all of the cruise, private islands out there that exist and put that acreage together and then doubled it, you would only then just about have the acreage of Half Moon Cay. It's a 2,400 acre unspoiled paradise. To put it in a nutshell, it can be the ultimate beach day regardless of your tastes. If you're the type of person who likes to lie on a sun lounger with that pina colada with an umbrella in it, listening to those tunes on the beach, or if you're the type who likes to be doing water sports, get out there and have some fun, or you're the type who likes to have that castaway moment, that desolate beach experience, that privacy and that solitude, or perhaps you want nature trails, it could be all of those things. It is everything to everyone. It is one of my favorite places on this planet. So there are just a couple of itineraries I'd like to flag up and bring to your attention. They are what I call our mariners' favorite Caribbean voyages. The southern Caribbean seafarer down there to the ABC Islands, the Dutch Antilles, Aruba, Bonaire, Curacao, with those extra days at sea, and our wayfarer out east. Both of these have lots of extra days at sea, which is not that common with the Caribbean. So you've got extra days at sea to relax, and these are always very, very popular, and you'll find our new Pinnacle class ships sailing these. And to throw it back to an idea that I put out a few minutes ago, you can combine these to become the ultimate collector's voyage. 21 days where you touch Half Moon Cay twice, 2 days in Half Moon Cay. So this becomes one seamless 21-day Caribbean experience for you in the winter months. So hopefully that has started a few wheels turning for those of you who are snowbirds out there. So I hope you enjoyed taking a peek at some of those itineraries. Laurie's going to come up now and review the offer with you. And then if you do have any questions about what you've seen, please put them in the chat box.
Tom, thank you. That was absolutely fantastic. I have my bag packed and I'm ready to go. And I don't know about all of you, but without having the ability to travel for so long, it just has really unleashed this passion in all of us that we just want to get away. So, I have just about got 20 really, really good reasons to sail with Holland America Line just from this presentation. The authenticity, the European style that we offer on board. There's just so much that we offer. And as Tom said, we are ultimately very, very passionate about this brand, and we want to share it with everybody. And Expedia Cruises is one of our great partners, and they know our brand very, very well. So we want you to get in touch with your Expedia Cruises consultant. And just to recap the offer that we have here for you today. So for the core value that Expedia Cruises offers you, they will always give you a shipboard credit offer when booking with Holland America Line. But With our special offer, September 30th till October 7th, you will get the core value of Expedia Cruises, plus you will get the Signature Beverage Package, up to 15 drinks per day. You will get the shore excursion credit. You will get our specialty dining, and that is in one of our alternate dining venues that Tom reviewed with you, and of course the Wi-Fi surf package. So this is already extraordinary great value, but there's more. So when you are booking during this time, the Explorer offer, you will also get an increased onboard spending money up to $1,000 when you are on select itineraries. Plus, you will get the crew appreciation. And as we mentioned, that is our gratuity offer. All of this at a reduced deposit. So the value here has never, ever been better. So we are thrilled to be able to partner with Expedia Cruises and offer you this extraordinary value, but it's a very, very short time. So this value that you have, we want you to get in touch with your Expedia office and ask them to help navigate and help find a destination for you. And as Tom said, we know what is looming. The snow is going to be flying soon. So start your planning and start the fun of the anticipation of your next Holland America Line cruise. And, you know, let us know if there's anything that we can do to help you with. Right now, there has never, ever been more important to have a very good consultant to work with. And the folks at Expedia Cruises are so well versed with our brand, and they will really help navigate all of these offers for you and find the best value that we can offer. So we want to thank you so much for tuning in today. It's been an absolute pleasure. And if there's anything again that we can help you with, please be in touch. And thank you again for joining us from Holland America Line, from Tom and myself, Michelle. We wish you all the best and happy planning with your winter vacation.
Wow, that is an incredible offer, and what an amazing heartfelt presentation. Thank you so much, Tom and Lori. You definitely got me incredibly excited to see the world with Holland America. I have a couple of things added to my bucket list. And just for all our attendees today, if you were also inspired, do get in contact with your Expedia Cruises consultant. Because as we've heard, the time to book is truly now. Besides the fact that there is this amazing exclusive offer, it's amazing unheard value, but we are also seeing, especially with the lifting restrictions, that ships are filling up. And so even if you're just toying with the idea of maybe going on a vacation, get the conversation going and reach out to your vacation consultant, because we don't want you to miss out. It is, as Lori said, a very limited time offer. I also wanted to remind everyone that you do have a chance to win a free cruise with Holland America through our consumer contest. So be sure to ask your vacation consultant how you can enter. And now before we end, I did mention at the beginning that we do have a $250 OBC that we will be giving away right now to be added to your Holland America booking made between September 30th to October 1st. And so a little bit of a drum roll, but I can see here the winner is Debbie Riddell. So congratulations, Debbie. Your vacation consultant will reach out with further details, but really excited and hopefully can use it towards your upcoming trip with Holland America. So just in closing, on behalf of our over 5,000 vacation consultants at 200 stores across North America, thank you so much for spending this time with us. And we look forward and hope to see you on a Holland America cruise sometime soon. Thanks, everyone. Take care.